So a fire has been lit in my belly for my training this year. Stay tuned to find out more. Hey guys, Alex here from AlexFergus.com. I'm sitting here in my soon to be completed gym. If you've seen my previous video, that was me walking around the gym with not much in here. I think the plywood was up and I was just talking about, how I could potentially lay it out. We've had a few deliveries now, so I've got my power rack behind me, I've got some dumbbells, got my Concept 2 rower machine behind me here, which I'll be referring to a lot in this video. So once it's all done, I will do a full tour for those that want to see how I've set it up. So stay tuned for that. But in this video, what I want to do is make a bit of an announcement, I guess. I'm just throwing it out there. I am going to, I've set myself a bit of a goal. Well, it's a decent goal. And in turn, it's given me a bit of purpose for my training. So quick background, the last 2-3 years, I have done very little training. We live in a rural area. It takes me about 45 minutes to get to my nearest gym. I was doing 1 session a week, if lucky. And then in that time, we've had 2 children. The most recent one was only 2 months ago. So yeah, haven't really had much time to do training. And to be honest, I lost a bit of the drive and motivation, but I still trained. I just didn't do much of it or anything serious. But now with this gym here at home, and I don't know what changed, but something changed in me. Now I've decided I'm going to have a crack at breaking a New Zealand indoor rowing record. Now, if you don't know what indoor rowing is, then it's racing on these Concept 2 machines, or ergs, or row ergs as they're often called. Now, I personally have done quite a bit of racing on those in a previous life, so to speak, when I was 16 through to 20 odd. I was actually a lightweight rower, so I was 70 kilos, and just by chance did some stuff at school. Turned out there was a big meet on that weekend, went to it, did really well. Next thing you know, I'm training for nationals and whatnot. I actually broke a few New Zealand records. I believe some of them are still current as well, which is pretty cool. Now remember, I was young, a junior, and I was a lightweight as well. So that was cool, and in fact, I actually went to the Worlds racing on those machines for the 2K event. It's called the Crash Bees. It was in Boston. That was many years ago, before I'd even touched a weight. It was just all fitness stuff on those rowing machines. So I do have a bit of experience racing on them. I then actually got into on the water rowing, and then of course, if you know my history from there, like I got into powerlifting, bodybuilding, and all that good stuff. So what I wanted to do today was just share these goals with you all, because there's a couple of little sub goals. Part of it is for my own sake, just to put this out there, so I can be held accountable, so to speak. Part of it is I want to show how I'm training. I want to show like the supplements I'm going to use, the recovery methods, biohacks, all the gadgets and all that I often use anyway. So I'm going to utilize all that gear in the quest to reach this goal of mine. So of course that's going to be more content for you guys, whether you're into rowing or not. It doesn't really matter, right? Like, it's applicable to a sport. And the other thing is, I will probably document some of this. Maybe once a month I'll do a video on it. I'm not too sure. And who knows? There might be a bit of an interest out there. Maybe you've got a background in rowing, or you're doing a bit of it, or you're into CrossFit and you spend some time rowing. Who knows? Anyway, you know what? Come over to my whiteboard. I have quite a neat whiteboard set up in this gym with all my training programs and numbers and whatnot. So I've mapped out a few numbers on there. So we'll go over there and I'll be able to reveal all the numbers in my goal. So the particular event that I'm setting my sights on is the 500 meter sprint. I say sprint though, it is still 1.5 minutes long. So I guess relative to the typical rowing event, which is 2Ks, it does feel a lot quicker. So that's what I'm going to set my goals on, right? The 500 meter sprint. The main event in rowing is the 2K. However, in indoor rowing, obviously the 2K is still the main event, but 500 meters is probably the second most popular event. So for me, it's a good target. There's still, I think, 50-60% aerobic base needed for that, but there's a lot of strength and power in there as well. So Now that we know that, let's look at some of these numbers in terms of where I sit and of course what the record is. And then I've got a bit of a graph here we can plot some data points on to see how it all looks visually. What is the record and what are my PBs? Well, the record that I'm looking at breaking is in fact an age group record. So it's not even a big record as such. It's a New Zealand record for a particular age bracket, in a 500 meter sprint and indoor rowing. Like it's, you know, I mean, there's some serious rowers out there, but it's not like, this isn't something that's going to be televised or anything like that, right? So the New Zealand record I'm looking at breaking is in the 36 to 42 age bracket. It's currently 1 minute, 18.7 seconds. Now to put that in perspective, my current PB is, I don't actually know what my current PB is. I'm pretty sure back in Sydney when I was doing a lot of bodybuilding and CrossFit training, I'm pretty sure I pulled a sub 120. I'm pretty sure. I may be wrong. But I'm going to say like I broke 120 and got like a 119 point something. So I'm going to say that's my best. However, when my rowing machine turned up in the gym back in November, I think it was, maybe December, I did a 500 meter sprint just for laughs and I pulled a 122.8, which surprised me. I mean, it's not, you know, it's a long way off these numbers and we'll talk about why, even though you probably think it's only a couple of seconds, we'll talk about why it is still a long way off soon. But it surprised me given the lack of training, especially fitness training I've done. Now I'm going to do a follow-up. I'm going to aim to do a retest of the 500 every month and I'll video some of them and share them on the channel. So I'm going to do one probably next week. So be sure to subscribe if you want to see what I pull then. I'm hoping I'll be around that 120. I may even break that 120 mark, given I have done a few weeks of training now, specifically for this. So my goal, let's just say 120. My PB, sorry, is about 120. So that's only 1.3 seconds off the record, the age group record. However, the age group record, I'm not quite in that age group yet. That's for when my birthday comes around. I think I'm in that age group. So anyway, let's just say I'm pulling a 121 at the moment, right? Now, that's 3 seconds or thereabouts off the age group record. However, I'm not currently in that age group, age bracket yet until my next birthday. But I figured, you know, I'm going to need a bit of time to get my speeds up and have a crack at this. So it all should align well. So 118.7. That's my main immediate goal, okay? And I think that's achievable and I expect to do that, you know, with some good training. Now, if all goes well in 6 months or 12 months time, if I have broken that and, you know, I'm still enjoying the training, then I've got my ultimate goal and that is this one, the New Zealand Open record. Now that currently sits at 1 minute, 14 seconds, 14.3 seconds, which is crazy. I mean, that's like 6-7 seconds faster than where I am now, right? Now, if you're thinking that's only a couple of seconds, Alex, you can break that. No, and this is where it gets interesting. So let's convert these times to watts, right? So at the moment with a 121 time, I'm pulling about 650 watts for the duration 500 meters. To break the age group record, I need to pull 718 watts. To break the New Zealand Open record, which is the 114.3, I need to pull 850 watts. So 200, I need to find 200 extra watts and hold on to that for, 75 seconds, which is, it's a big jump, right? And that's why this is the ultimate goal. And this is going to be the age group record is going to be the immediate sort of short-term main goal, I guess. To put those wattage figures into perspective, let's come over to this graph here. So over here, what I've done is I've got the 500 meter times down the bottom here, starting at 121, working down to 110, and then I've got watts on the y-axis here. So this is where I am at the moment, at 121, about 650 watts, okay? To break that age group record, I've got to come up to here. And that's that's 718 watts. So that's the first goal. And I think that's achievable. With training, bit of time, I think I'll be able to hit that. The ultimate goal, the New Zealand record for open, for, you know, the fastest 500 meter ever done in New Zealand is way up here. .853 watts. So now when you think of it in seconds, you think, oh, it's not too far. But when you look at it in wattage figures, that's, you know, it's a big jump up, right? Huge jump. So like I said, first goal is to break my personal best. Second goal at the end of the year is to break this one, the age record, New Zealand age record. If all's going well and the end of the year comes around and I smash that and, you know, my time is down here in the 1:16, 17s, then I'll seriously look at having a go at that 1:14. That's the ultimate dream goal, but this is the first objective down here. Now, if you're wondering, all right, Alex, what about world records? Well, I looked into these numbers and I knew they were insane, but I'll plot them on here as well. The world record for both my current age group and for any age group is 1 minute and 10 seconds. It's insane, like actually insane. So we plot that on here. We're way up here. And it's averaging 1,000 watts for 70 seconds, 1,000 watts. Remember, I'm currently at 650 watts or thereabouts, trying to get to 720. So 1,000 watts, it's ridiculous. Like honestly, it's just, there's so much power going in there. To put that in perspective, right now, as I weigh 102 kilos and, you know, I just did a triple deadlift of 250 kilos the other day, right? So there's a bit of strength there, not amazing strength, but like reasonably strong. I can maybe pull 1,000 watts for maybe 2 strokes. In a 500 meter piece, you're doing something like, I don't know, 60, 70 strokes. So you got to maintain that power for 60. It's like insane. The reason why that number is insane is because there are some total freaks out there, and I mean, they train exceptionally hard. The other thing is, the other reason why like even achieving this will be a huge goal for me is because of my height. Like I'm quite short for a rower. I'm 5'10". That's, you know, most, and I'm now going to be in the open weight class, right? So most rowers are 6 foot easy, right? You know, 6'3" type thing. So I'm very short, and it's why like these sort of numbers are just, you know, beyond comprehension for someone like me. But this and maybe that, who knows? So anyway, that's my goal, to break the New Zealand age group record for the 500 meters in the open weight class. And then potentially in a year's time, we'll review how things are going, and I may even try push on, do that, but who knows? So now what I thought I'd do is run through a bit of background, where I am at the moment, where my body is, maybe touch on my training. Let's look at, no, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm actually gonna film a bunch of these. Because I have mapped out a training program, I've mapped out a supplement program, all sorts of things, right? I've been working on this for the last few weeks. It's been really fun, to be honest. I haven't had this sort of passion and desire, you know, staying up late at night and working out, you know, training programs and stuff. I haven't had that for years, like 7 years or so, maybe 8 years since I was like powerlifting and bodybuilding. So it's been really cool to have that fire again in my belly. So, what I'm gonna do in some other videos is not only am I gonna document my progress and record the odd race I do and stuff, I'm also going to share my training program and supplements, recovery, you know, the gadgets I'm using and stuff like that. So be sure to hit subscribe if you wanna track my journey, but also learn about some of these things. But what I'll do in the rest of this video then is just go through a bit about how realistic it is if I can achieve these goals. So first things first, where I am now, I am mid-30s, right? I have got my own company, I got a little farm I manage, I got a wife, I've got 2 children, a 3-year-old and a 2-month-old baby. You know, life is pretty full on. It's crazy at this sort of age in life, right? So this isn't going to get the full attention that I would have had 10 years ago, for instance. Body composition wise, like I said, I'm about 102, 103 kilos. And according to the scales I have, I'm like 22.5% body fat. I don't think I'm that high, but if I put it in athlete mode, it says I'm like 9%, and there's no way I'm 9%. So yeah, I'm probably about 18 or 19%. I'll track that every few months and just see what happens there. Training background, like I said, last year I probably got, I mean, how many weeks are there? 50 weeks. I would have got maybe 40 sessions in a whole year. The last few weeks, since I've focused on this, I've been ramping it up, doing a couple of sessions a week, both strength and a bit of rowing stuff, which has been cool. Strengths on why I think I can achieve this. First thing is experience. I've done a lot of erg work, lots and lots and lots of erg work. I have a reasonably good technique on it, I think. I've got some sound programming knowledge through my own training, through courses I've done and coaching people over the years. So that's all gonna help me. I now have my home gym. It's literally a stone's throw from our house. It's from my bedroom. So I can access, I can come out and do a quick session, which I couldn't do last year. So that's definitely going to help. The knowledge about training and recovery, which I didn't know about 10, 15 years ago anyway. So I probably would have just burnt myself out. Now I know, I can track my heart rate variability, my sleep. I've got red light therapy to help me with recovery. I've got saunas. I've got all these gizmos, gadgets, supplements, all the things I'm going to share with you as well in this process. So I can tap into those things, which is cool. I'm also tapping into people that have gone before. So Sam Locke, for instance, who I think he has maybe he had the 500 meters. I think he's still got the 1,000 meter record. The guy's a freak, he's an Olympian and stuff. He's published, I bought his book and I watched a lot of his stuff. So I've taken tips from him. There's a few other people, Rowing Stronger. There's a website called Rowing Stronger. I've tapped into the knowledge on there and stuff. So, I'm looking into this stuff and I'm trying to do it in a proper manner rather than just going gung-ho and hoping for the best. The other thing I have going for me is I do have a powerlifting background, a strength background. I have done some pretty big numbers. I did a 250 kilo raw squat I was under 90 kilos. I don't know what I was, 80 something. So, power to weight ratio back then would have been quite amazing. So I can leverage some of that again, that experience, that training, the muscle memory. So hopefully that will come back. Weaknesses. Well, the first thing is my age. It doesn't matter too much when we're looking at the age group record because obviously that variable's eliminated. But when we're looking at this big one up here, I'll be up against guys who are 25, for instance, in their peak. So I'm 10 years older than them. So that is a big. Pretty much I'm only going to get slower as I get older, in theory. Secondly, injuries. I do have a niggly back injury, which is, I realize now it's just going to be around for a while. Saying that, I did some big deadlifts the other day and pulled up fine. So, rowing isn't great on the lower back, but it's something I'd rather not have, but it is what it is. Next thing is some imbalances. Like I've definitely got a bit of a hip imbalance. I think that was from years of sweep rowing one side, and I never really corrected that. I see it in my shoulders, my back. Even when I was bodybuilding, there were muscle imbalances there. So I've got to work around that, which is linked to the injuries, but at least I'm aware of it, right? Next thing is obviously my lifestyle. I've got a baby. Life's crazy. It's just full on crazy. So at any time, like maybe my training takes a massive interruption because, my kid gets sick. Now, our boy is epileptic, for instance, and, often we're in the hospital and stuff like that. So, my wife could get sick and I got to look after them, or anything could happen. We could have an issue on the farm and stuff. So, that's something that, I wouldn't have had in my younger life, in my younger days, but hey, it's life. And then finally, the biggest limitation is my height. So like I said, I'm 5'10". When I rode reasonably high level when I was younger, I was a lightweight. And even as a lightweight, I was on the shorter side, right, at 5'10". But because of my power and my fitness at the time, that's why I did okay, or reasonably okay, I guess, as a lightweight. However, I always knew I was a little bit too short to take it, Olympic sort of state. Plus, I knew my body needed to be a bit higher than the 70 odd kilos I was always dieting down for. Now, of course, I've got 30 kilos on what I had back then, which is crazy when I think about it. But I don't have any extra height. So, Sam Locke, I mentioned him before. The guys that are doing these big numbers, they're well over 6 foot, and that's everything when it comes to rowing. You're just getting a longer pull. It's leverage and all that sort of stuff. So you look at any Olympic rower, and that's all. So I don't have that, and I can't do much about it. I need to figure out how I can work around that. Whether I up my rating, it's something I just need to accept that's the case. But the thing is, I do have some good foundations with the leg strength, so that's what I'm hoping to leverage here. How likely am I to reach these numbers? Well, yeah, I think unless something crazy happens in the next few weeks, I'll break that personal best, no worries. This one here, the age group record at the end of the year, I'm confident I can hit that, assuming nothing crazy happens. I think I can do them. This one though is going to be a test of my physical limitations. I seriously think that will be a big ask, but hey, we'll see how it goes. And that's why I'll set my goal here and we'll review this one later. So yeah, that's everything. Curious to hear your thoughts. If you have any experience with this, or you've done a recent 500 meter on an erg, what was your time, for comparison's sake? Yeah, if you got any feedback or advice or anything like that, let me know. Like, I'm going to do a bunch of more videos on this. So, you know, I'll do one just purely on recovery, all my recovery methods and strategies and tools and stuff. So, you know, be sure to keep an eye out for that. I'll do the same for supplements and all that. So I will review this whole training program I have behind me. Let me see if I can show it to you. So, you know, there's a lot of detail on there, right? Most of it's for tracking my workouts, but training plans there, I've been tweaking that for the last few weeks. I think I've got something pretty solid then. So yeah, keen to hear what you think about this. I will be doing a 500 meter test for February. I'm going to do one each month. I'll be doing that next week, so I'll be putting that up. I'll do a video on that. I'll be putting that up on my channel, so you can keep an eye on this. And yeah, I aim to do an update every few weeks, or at least once a month. Yeah, and hopefully in a couple of months' time, or at the end of the year, I can say, hey, yeah, I reached my goal. I hope you enjoy the ride as much as I do, and I'm keen to hear more from you guys as well. All right, I'm actually going to do a workout now, so I will sign off and see you later. Bye.